special edition of the Hockey Hub. I'm riding solo, but we're going to go over everything that was Jimmy Fund. Welcome to episode something of the Hockey Hub, guys. Jimmy Fund with Arbella Insurance, with WEEI and NESN, we all partnered up, just wrapped up 2 days from Fenway Park, raising so much money. It was actually a record-breaking year, over $5 million. So thank you to everyone who donated. If you guys were watching the telethon, you know we had guests from all over, but we're going to focus on the hockey guests that we had here and in Fenway Park. And we had Kris Sparre on to start. That's where we're going to start. He has been named the second coach in Boston Fleet history, and he joined us from Burlington, Ontario, where he currently is. He's going to be coming down to Boston to get ready for the season in the upcoming months. But why don't we throw that interview at you, and you guys can take a listen to Kris Sparre, who talked about his newest job with the Boston Fleet. We're continuing in the NESN studios for the WEEI and NESN Jimmy Fund Telethon, and we are so pleased to have our guest, Kris Sparre, joining us, named the second head coach in Boston Fleet history. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Boston's, one of our favorite events of the year. And now you're going to be a big part of this community. Just wondering, I'm a fellow Torontonian. Are you in Mississauga right now, or are you in Boston already?
No, I'm actually I'm in Burlington. So I'm about 40 minutes outside of Toronto, but grew up in Mississauga.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we were checking out your resume and everything you bring to this Boston Fleet team. Your first job as a head coach, so congratulations for that. But no pressure. You're joining one of the best sports cities in the world. What's your excitement around possibly building a legacy with the Fleet in Boston?
I'm ecstatic. To be able to jump into Boston and be a part of this tradition here that, it's respected franchises, franchises that have done a lot of winning. And, my goal is to bring in a championship level program to Boston with the Fleet and continue the tradition.
You talked about community in your opening presser. Welcome, by the way. I'm new, so I feel weird saying welcome to Boston, but we can learn some things as we go. What have you learned about this community so far, especially being able to kick off such a special day as today?
Well, I've learned quite a bit. One of the things that kind of on a personal side of it is, I'm a big food guy. I love to eat. I love seafood and I love Italian food. And so walking around the city, just getting a chance to see all the restaurants, and I had a few really nice dinners when I was in town for the media release. And what a great culinary culture they have, and I'm looking forward to diving a little bit more to that side of it.
Kris, you're going to get along very well. I can give you the name of all the best restaurants here in Boston. It's a great food scene. It's a great everything scene, really. Like I said, like one of the best sports cities in North America. I want to touch a little bit on your experience with Team Germany, because the Bruins obviously naming Marco Sturm as their newest head coach. Do you have any experience with him? Both of you obviously representing Germany and playing him, coaching, you playing. Like how much crossover have you had with him, if any at all?
So Marco and I, we coached against each other actually last season. So he played he was the coach of the Ontario Reign, which is the LA Kings farm team, obviously 1 hour down the road from San Diego. So that was a rivalry for us. And then, the coach that I had been working for in San Diego, I've spent a lot of time with, not only in North America, but also in Europe. He coached in the Olympics with Marco for Team Germany. I also played a couple games for Team Germany back in the day in some preliminary rounds for the World Championship. So there's a little bit of crossover for sure there. I know Marco a little bit, but I look forward to sort of getting to know him a little bit more.
I can't wait for you guys to chat more, because another commonality that both of you guys have discussed throughout your pressers is being effective communicators. How's it been getting to know your team ahead of the season, and some point of emphasis on, communicating and getting to know everyone?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I'm just working through the roster now and getting to know all the players. And I think I've connected with probably 60 or 70% of the team at this point, and just, wonderful conversations. The one thing that stands out to me, and I think a lot of coaches say this, and, just with just saying it, but for me, I really feel it. There is a very, very good culture that's already been established with this Boston Fleet team. The players are they're extraordinary with the way they act, and they very, very good people, very supportive of each other, and it follows suit throughout the staff. Just kind of talking to everybody in the different departments, and the culture that's been put in place, it was obviously set very early, and a testament to what Danielle Marmer's done, the general manager, and bringing in the right people. But excellent people, excellent staff support. Like I said, I can't wait to get to work.
I'm always so fascinated about, and I don't know if other people are, but I really am, about like the interview process and what that's like. And that's something that Don Sweeney was asked about when it came to Marco Sturm. And he said a couple of things really stood out in terms of what he said, not just in terms of systems or his experience and talent and so on and so forth. So was Danielle the main person that you interviewed with? We know Marms very well. She was in the Bruins organization earlier and is a big part of this community now, as you mentioned. But was she really the woman you were talking to, or did you go through like a big interview process? And what do you think did it for you, other than your experience? Was there anything you said or something that you felt like that was unique that you could bring to this team?
Well, it would be hard to pinpoint it, but yeah, Danielle was the main point of contact, and like I said, I made jokes before. She didn't make it easy on me. There was a lot of long interview processes and long interviews, and it wasn't one, it was multiple, and that's a really good thing, for a coach to see, because I've been through interview processes where you do one interview, and by the end of the interview they're saying, hey, do you want the job? And for me, understanding that this was a very important hire for the organization. It was a thoughtful hire. It was something that they took their time on. And for me as a coach, it's rewarding to know, when you get the job that, you had to go through that long list of, the long list of check marks to make sure that you're the right person for the job. And like I said, there was some really, the big thing is, they want to make sure someone can come in and uphold the culture that's already been built, but also add some value on the hockey side of it. And continue to make sure that this organization, and not only the organization, but the league, is moving in the right direction. So I don't know what did it, but I think that sometimes, people just hit it off, and we're very like-minded in the way we think the game and the way we want this team to play. And I think that was sort of, maybe the selling point.
I love that you mentioned upholding culture, and you kind of already alluded to it, but alongside culture is identity. And within that, you mentioned this team is hard to play against, and you want them to continue to be hard to play against. What do you kind of see for the Boston Fleet for this upcoming season?
Well, yeah, like I think that's a sort of a terminology that's thrown around a lot in hockey. And when I say hard to play against, it just means, I think in every sport, when you're an athlete or you're a coach, you remember what it's like playing against those teams where there's no room, whether it's on the football field, the basketball field, the hockey rink, whatever it is. It's like those teams that just give you absolutely no space out there. And typically, for me, that comes down to being very organized with the way you're going to play when you don't have the puck on your stick. And so for us, we're going to be, I want our players to feel like they can play and be creative when we have the puck. But when we don't have it, we're going to be very organized in how we're going to get it back in a five-man unit. And so that's really important for us. And I think, I've used the word suffocating. We're going to be aggressive with the way we forecheck and the way we want to get pucks back. And I think that's something that we're going to instill early and be a very skating, hard to play against, but a team that skates and gets pucks back as quick as we can.
I know you're Canadian because I get this all the time. I say against, and you say against as well. Apparently, it's against in the States, but I loved hearing you say against because that's how I say it too.
Okay, all right, that's good. I'm not the only one.
No, definitely. And now we just need you to say sorry like a Canadian, and then we're all going to be good.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Listen, Hilary Knight was the captain of the Boston Fleet, taken in the expansion draft. Brad Marchand with the Boston Bruins traded at the deadline, as you know. So that's a big theme here. We've been talking about captaincy and leadership around your respective teams. How would you want your captain, or what qualities are you looking for in a captain in the teams that you've been an assistant coach in, and now that you're a head coach, what qualities do you want to see in a captain?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think leadership, it shows up really in different ways. Sometimes you have the vocal leader who's always saying the right things, and sometimes you have someone that's a little bit more reserved and a little quieter, but does something does something with the way they play. And I always say that well done is a lot better than well said. I want to see somebody that is going to be leading by example on the ice, and for us, that we have those players already. You can just tell from talking to them on the phone and getting to know their game a little bit. But those qualities for me is getting after it and being the example, and everything that we do, whether it's a practice day, whether we're traveling, and we need an extra bag carried on the road, or helping out the trainers, or scoring a big goal in a big moment. That's leadership. And so for me, those are all examples. But I think if I were to kind of wrap it up into one thing, I think doing it is a lot better than saying it, and that's what we're going to be looking for.
Kris, we have to let you go, but thank you so much for your time. Last quick question: when do you get to Boston? When do you kind of make the move?
I think we're going to make the move in September. I'm probably going to come down early by myself, and then my family will follow probably in October, as my son's going to start school here and make his way over to Boston. But I'm looking forward to getting to Boston and getting to work.
Well, we welcome you from the bottom of our hearts. Good luck with the move again. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck this upcoming season. Welcome back, guys, to the Hockey Hub. If you're just joining us, we are recapping personally my two favorite days of the year. That is the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fun Radio Telethon. Record-breaking year. Thank you to everyone who donated and all the people who made time to come on set and talk to us. That includes Bruins CEO Charlie Jacobs. He took time out of his busy schedule to join us. He spoke with Adam. He also donated $25,000, so thank you to that. He spoke with Adam on set, and then afterwards, Jeremy Swayman also came by to talk to Adam. Let's have a listen.
Adam Pellerin, happy to be joined by alternate governor and CEO of the Boston Bruins, Charlie Jacobs. Hi, Charlie.
Adam, how are you?
I'm great. It's the best 2 days of the year here at NESN, and over the years, the Boston Bruins have been so generous, donating their time and their money to help the cause, and this year is no different.
Well, just watching that opening montage, I saw some Shawn Thornton. I saw Tom Caron with a beard. To give you an idea, I think this is my 24th telethon. So yes, of course, I'm incredibly happy to be here. It's an honor to be here, and this is, in my opinion, one of the things that makes Boston such a special city is that all of our professional franchises rally around this cause for Dana-Farber.
And you're here with a presentation as well, aren't you?
You're right, absolutely. We'll get right down to business,
Let's do it.
Okay. Yes, on behalf of the Boston Bruins Foundation, I'm here to make a donation of $25,000.
Wow.
Today.
Awesome. That is so generous, and already well over $500,000 so far, not even halfway through the day. So another generous donation by the Boston Bruins. And you talked about, your years, part of this telethon, and, we've seen so many, you mentioned Shawn Thornton, so many players over the years. How does it make you feel to see, the players and the coaches buy in and help out this worthy cause?
Well, listen, I happen to think it's incumbent upon us as Boston Bruins to be involved in our community, and there's really, frankly, no better way than getting involved in this type of cause. So, I'm incredibly proud of it. I mean, I saw Shawn Thornton I mentioned up there. I understand that Jeremy Swayman may be coming on a little bit later today, and our new head coach, Sturm, tomorrow. So you're going to see a lot of Boston Bruins throughout these next 48 hours, and that makes me happy, puts a smile on my face, and hopefully represents our brand.
We're at Fenway Park, and I guess I should say that Jeremy Swayman is on deck after you. So
he is? Okay.
Right. He's in the on-deck circle right now getting ready. It's been a busy summer for the Bruins. So many different transactions, but let's start with the big one, and the new head coach, Sturm, former player, of course. Why is he the right fit to be the next head coach?
So Marco's, if you have a chance, and I know you will, during your broadcasts when the season starts, and then it's right around the corner, by the way, but you'll get a sense of just what a powerful communicator Marco is. He's really got a vision for this team. Very systems oriented. Also, he's got some exciting ideas about pushing our offense. I'm actually quite excited to see this team come out with a little more structure and with Marco's guidance, I think we're going to have a good product for the ice.
So you have a new head coach. You have some changes on the roster as well, obviously. It was an emotional trade deadline back in March in many ways, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of changes. So you have a lot of new faces on the roster. Just your thoughts on what Don Sweeney, Cam Neely front office has done through free agency trades and the draft as you take a look at now, some of the new additions.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a team that's going to be very, very hard to play against. Wanted to make sure that the younger kids that are coming on board, in many ways we restock the cupboard, so to speak, in terms of our talent prospect pool, and make sure that we keep everybody honest, so to speak. So if you can see the top of that list, I see Tanner Jeannot. I think he takes care of cleaning house. So
sure does,
and also a talented player in his own right. So there are a lot of great additions to this year's club. I think that we're just talking about getting off on the right foot, where everybody's under contract, everybody's ready for for summer to end and for the fall to begin here. So I'm very excited, knowing in particular as well that some of our prospects have been skating with the team already, just getting ready for whether they're going back to Boston College or the National Development Program. They're here and involved in Boston hockey right now.
So you have those new additions, some of which we just showed you, and then you have some established veterans who are in the room. But it looks like this season you're going to go into, for first time in a long time, no captain. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's okay. You know what? It's I don't want to get caught up in, geez, the Boston Bruins don't have a captain. I've seen this happen before, and sometimes it can be a bonding opportunity for the guys to say, hey, you know what? One of us may be the leader as we emerge, as we play this season. Maybe we play the whole season without a captain. It isn't necessarily up to me, by the way, to appoint a captain. That should be really determined by the coach and the people in the room. And of course, I think it's an opportunity, frankly, and I hope that our player personnel are looking at it that way.
Speaking of captains, Zdeno Chara elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame. What a Hall of Fame class we'll have come this November. Just your thoughts on Big Z getting in the Hall?
I just wish him congratulations. He's still out there doing. I just was with one of my associates who mentioned that he did a sub 5 hour triathlon today, which is typical Z fashion, keeping himself in incredible shape. He's down there at Warrior on, sort of more in the player personnel area. He's involved with our team a little bit, but on a more important note, I really think I could not think of a more deserving individual than Zdeno to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, and I'm looking forward to being there in November when he's inducted.
Yeah, he's a lock. Looking forward to number 37 getting there at some point as well. I know you touched on this a little bit, Charlie. We'll just wrap this way. Training camp is around the corner. First preseason games are going to be not too far behind. What's your overall message to Bruins fans as we get ready for Bruins hockey?
Let's give us a chance. I think we're going to have a pretty entertaining team on the ice this year. We mentioned some of the new additions, but knowing that we have Charlie McAvoy back and healthy, Hampus Lindholm back and healthy, everyone's under contract and coming into this year, hope to get off on a good right foot, that first step, so to speak, and I anticipate that we'll have a better power play. So you put all those things together, I think that we've got a pretty good product to sell here in Boston, and I think our fans will really enjoy watching our team play.
Looking forward to training camp. Really appreciate your time, and of course, always the generous donation from the Boston Bruins. Charlie Jacobs, thanks for your time. Good to see you.
Okay.
Jeremy Swayman, what's up?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Doing well.
Bruins goaltender joins us now as we continue our coverage here at the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon. How's summer going?
It's going great. Yeah, it's been really good. Obviously, the weather's been awesome, and I've been able to train a lot, get in the mountains, all the good stuff that I need.
You were here last year, and you made a point to be here, and everybody knows what you were going through with the contract situation, but you wanted to be here. Why?
It's bigger than hockey, Adam. This is my favorite event since I've come into Boston. Been really fortunate to be on the East Coast for a while with college, and you're hearing about it all the way up there. So I knew that, this is an incredible platform to get an understanding of perspective and what we're all here for, and the platform that we're given as professional athletes, and how we can promote the things that really matter in life. And that's something that's really special to me. So nothing was stopping me from coming and hanging out with you guys.
So I know almost nothing about hockey. I've been a baseball guy my whole life.
Lenny doesn't watch anything outside of baseball. Like, seriously, it's
I don't
unbelievable.
know other
He's
sports,
a freak.
but I'm a freak. I'm a left-handed freak. But Adam taught me 2 of the 3 things. I know a goalie.
That's good to hear. Yeah.
The other 2 things,
Very important.
dump and chase. Dump and chase and bar down.
Yeah, there you go.
Those are the only things.
All right, we're going to teach you something right now. The windmill.
What's the windmill?
It's a glove save with a little flash on it. No, the other way.
The other way.
Coming up, the windmill. More bar downs.
There you go.
Wax, kind of a wax on type thing. Okay.
Exactly. So
Windmill.
There you
I know
go.
4 things.
Lenny DiNardo, hockey guy.
I'm a big hockey guy now.
Unbelievable.
Good to hear.
So the Bruins have always been generous with their time and their money. We had Charlie Jacobs on with a generous $25,000 gift. A lot of players over the years have been here giving their time and money. Why is it important for players who come onto the scene here in Boston to be involved in philanthropy, and in this case specifically the Jimmy Fund Telethon?
It's hard to find a place to begin. It's a hotbed. We're so lucky to be here in Boston as athletes, and what we're exposed to, obviously the incredible passion of the fan base. It's more than just hockey to them. It's a lifestyle, and you're hearing all these incredible generations of fans, and you know what it means to put on the Spoke B and what you're representing. It's an incredible hotbed for medical. Been able to be a part of many groups that come in and come into the Children's Hospital, all these different incredible hospitals that are helping so many people, and you know what goes into the behind the scenes and what kind of impact that they're making. So that's something that I've really worn on my sweater, is the pride of being a Bostonian and how we can impact our community better, because they've given so much to us as athletes, and the things that we can do to help them in little ways like this is truly a priority.
Talk about seeing the kids' faces. Kids' faces, young adults alike, when someone with a platform like a Bruins player or a Red Sox player, when they enter the Jimmy Fund or a hospital, talk about what their face shows you. And it makes you smile back, right?
It really does. And, the perspective is that's the most important thing in their life at that moment. And so to reiterate that to them is everything else disappears when you're in the room with a patient, with anyone, and that's all that matters in the world to me at that moment. And that's something that you don't forget and has inspired me beyond the ice, and how I treat others, how I carry myself in public. And that for me is just a really good perspective piece that I've really been fortunate to be a part of, and it's contagious. The love, the happiness that an athlete can give somebody, that's something that, again, I just want to give it back to those people that really support us.
There are a lot of Bruins fans watching, and I know you were recently on the Hockey Hub on NESN, so we appreciate your time there. But in case you missed that episode, it would be remiss if we didn't ask you a couple of hockey questions. So,
Good.
you have obviously a big turnover on the roster. We really started the trade deadline. You got a lot of new faces coming in. You're getting some healthy bodies back, which will be huge for you guys as well. How do you feel going on training camp?
Excited, and the expectation is high, and that's what we want as being a player, being a part of an organization that has high expectations, is keeping it high. Everyone that comes in and out of this organization knows that it's next man up, and we have a job to do is perform, make sure that we're being successful, putting on that Bruins sweater every day, knowing that we're representing more than ourselves and the people that have come before us, and the history tells itself. So that's something that it's our job as players now to keep that tradition going and positive, and make sure that we're winning games in the black and gold.
It's similar to baseball. There's so many games, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you lose one game, you have to turn the page, right? Similar to baseball. So what else you got for me? I got windmill.
Love it.
I'm like,
Hey,
All that to say, can you teach me more
I want to know
hockey?
more about hockey. But yes, I want to know more.
good. Well, there's
Yeah.
a hockey lingo, right?
I need him to take me to a game.
Oh,
'cause
you're in, yeah.
It's a hot ticket. It's hard to get in, so I know a guy.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a list.
Two guys now.
I know
We'll get
two
you.
guys. All right.
Yeah, we'll get you. But there's a total hockey lingo, and it's just funny. So all like the bar downs and all that stuff. But it's just a hockey guy within one conversation, I feel like. And
I've been to a P Bruins game. Keith Falk took me to a P Bruins game.
Yeah, good.
Years ago, and it was a blast. I had an outstanding time. It was so fun, so much fun.
Yeah, we got an alumni. Right
we go.
There you
that
go.
I am. Yeah, that I am. Yeah, we know the ranks.
There
That's
you go.
good. Yeah.
If I'll just ask you this: between the pipes, right? Last year was a learning experience, right? There you
Is
go.
that a
There's
new
another
one?
Yeah, for you. Yeah,
Between the pipes.
Goalies between the pipes, right?
Okay.
Learning experience for you, being the number one guy. What did you learn from that experience, and how did it set you up for success going into this year's training camp?
I think the biggest thing is exactly what you said, is gaining experience. There was ups and downs last year. We know that, and I took it to heart. I mean, I don't like losing. I don't like not making playoffs, and that's a standard that I hold myself to. I've probably found myself in a place that I didn't want to be mentally, and you know what? That was a challenge for me, and the biggest thing that I really wanted to focus on was falling forward. If I fell, if I was down, I wanted to make sure I was getting up and making sure I was falling forward and do whatever I can to help my teammates and obviously this team. That's something that you can't replicate. You can't buy at a Target. You have to experience it in order to go through that. And that was a huge learning curve for me, and I couldn't be more grateful to have it. And I tell you what, Adam, it's a blessing that I was able to go through that and have the support of my teammates, my family, and obviously the city that just has never wavered in belief. And we know I want everyone to know is that didn't go unnoticed. And it's completely propelled, my summer. I know every one of my teammates' summers, and we have something to prove this year, and that's exciting.
Welcome back. We are recapping 2 awesome days for the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund in partnership with Arbella. Record-setting, by the way. We're just going over all the guests that came by our studio as it's related to hockey, because, of course, this is the Hockey Hub. We've heard from Charlie Jacobs, Jeremy Swayman, Kris, Sparre. Right now, let's hear from the newest head coach of the Boston Bruins, Marco Sturm.
Bounces around for Kessel. For Chara, the shot that goes over the top. Sturm with another good hit. Throws Hammerlick off the puck. Turns and fires. Save place. Rebound. Sturm. Holds. Scores! Marco Sturm! 5-4 Boston!
All right, as promised, we got a sneaky shot of you guys, Reza and Marco, talking outside of our studios, and we promised that you'd be in our studio after the break. And with that, we have the newest head coach of the Boston Bruins, Marco Sturm, with us, and Andrew Raycroft. You guys know him and love him well. Marco, we were just chatting off camera. I was asking you if you ever got to attend when you were a player any of these radio telethons, but you'd been overseas, so this is your first time as a guest on our show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
But you did say you had wonderful memories of learning about and knowing about the Jimmy Fund, and of course you did hospital visits when you were a player as well. So can you just talk about what you remember about the impact that the Bruins and the Red Sox have on the community to help donate for the Jimmy Fund Clinic?
Yeah, I felt like when I played here, I was part of it because I had hats, I had T-shirts. It was always the Jimmy Fund, on everything pretty much. And so I knew a lot about it. I was just never able to be here because it was a little bit in the summer. And but now I finally made it, and it's beautiful. It's a great cause. It's a great event, and it's nice to be part of and helping those funds and raising money and helping those kids and bringing smiles on their faces. It's a good thing.
Yes.
Sturmy, we haven't seen each other in a long time. We were talking out front. I'm just curious if you can give everyone kind of an idea of what you've been up to. You're now the head coach of the Boston Bruins, but you put a lot of time in, and you've really worked on your craft since scoring that amazing goal in the Garden, the on the body, the forecheck, the one here, the big goal here as well. We all remember you, or Bruins fans remember you for that. But just give us an idea of what the last 5, 6, 7 years have looked like for you, and working to this point of being the head coach of the Boston Bruins.
You know what? When I retired, I didn't know what to do. Like, I just want to spend time with my family, and I got into coaching a little bit. Excuse me. And sure enough, the national team hired me as a coach. Silver medal. I think that kind of changed everything for me. And all of a sudden, I landed in LA, and that I think that time I knew I want to be, a real coach and head coach, because that's more me. I took my time. I was patient enough. Went through a lot, but it was all fun. It was a great experience for me, and I needed it. I think that was the big thing. I needed that time. I needed that experience, and timing is everything. You guys know that too. So and being back here now with with the right time. I think for me personally and the organization, I could have gone any better. And now I'm super excited to be back in Boston.
Razor kind of went big picture over the last 7 years, what your journey was like. But what about since the press conference that you had? What a whirlwind. It was like a press conference week for you, right? You were doing at Fenway and you were talking to radio and television and everyone wanted kind of a piece of you. But now that the dust has settled a little bit, we've had players on our podcast. We've had players on set who've said you've reached out to them. They've gotten a chance to get to know you. You've hired an assistant coach since then. So what about the last couple of months in preparation for training camp in September?
Yeah, it was busy. I mean, like you said, it was a good week, but it was a busy week for me at the press conference there. But no, I went back to Germany actually for a couple of weeks just to breathe again and getting ready to go. And now the last I would say the last month or so it's been busy just organizing training camp, the season schedule. Like there's a lot of things. Different areas, the coaches, there's a lot. It's a new coach, it's a new voice. Everyone has different ideas. So now I just have to make sure it's going to be simple for everyone. It's going to be clear for everyone. And when we start training camp, there will be no questions. And I think that was a little bit the focus the last few weeks.
Month out from training camp, you talk about the organization. Has there been one thing that you didn't recognize that the head coach was going to have to do? Something even just like off the board. Of course, you've been in the rooms, but like, oh yeah, I've got to figure that out, whether it's the travel or where you're going to stay, those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Yes, the travel and the days you kind of, you're talking to Don Sweeney about which days you rather want to go and practice on the road and stuff like that. But I never looked at which hotel you want to stay at, right? That's a good point.
So you get to pick now?
I don't know. I gave my answer. Let's put it that way. But Sweeney's was pretty good. He did what I wanted. And no, but that's something I've probably never done before.
Yeah.
I mean, when I travel on the road, I have no choice, but all the choices so far have been really good. The travel. Listen, we got to have Steve Spott on our podcast, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you since hiring him. He talked about the hiring process. Yeah. What went into making that decision? Because there was that one final assistant coach spot, and you said you were going to take your time making it. So how did he get the job?
Yeah, no, I think it was. I was just lucky, very lucky. We've all been lucky to have a guy like Steve Spott. He was not really on the market. He was still in Dallas under contract. And then all of a sudden, he got let go. And I called him right away. And, he had some other offers too. And he decided to come to work with me in the Boston Bruins. So again, for me, I think it's a home run. And he just, with his experience, he's going to help our coaching staff. He's going to help me, but also he's going to help, most importantly, our players. He coached the big boys before in San Jose, in Dallas, the Rantanen, all those guys. I think it's just going to help the Pasternak, the McAvoy, and these guys just to have that present behind the bench. And that's why I think Sparre is the right guy for the right job here in Boston.
What's your expectation for your groups as a head coach, and what your expectation is for this group going into the season?
Yeah, no, we all know it's it's going to be a lot of work, and we'll see. I'm a guy. I'm not going to look, the end results right now. For me, it starts training camp. I think that's something I really want to be good at. I think in the past, what I heard, it was not, and I think we just want to build our foundation right away from the start, and that starts with training camp, and then build our way up. Can we fix everything overnight? No, we can. So again, that's something I learned too, mostly through Todd. You got to stick with your process. Trust your process. I think that's going to be the key because you can't do it overnight. And we're going to go through it week by week and try to get better every day.
We had Kris Sparre on our show yesterday. He's the newest head coach of the Boston Fleet, and he said that he got to coach against you last year. But your relationship with him, and have you had a chance to welcome him? I know you just got back, but I'm assuming you guys will, cross paths at some point this season. But what's your relationship like with Kris?
Yeah, no, I met him a couple of times because of our good friend, who's the head coach now in San Diego. He was my assistant coach at the Olympics, but. No, he's done a good job, especially on the power play in San Diego. So it was nice to see and to hear that he got the head coach job here, and hopefully I get a chance to talk to him a little bit more like in the past. But he also called me about the assistant job opportunity. Yeah, no, it's funny how it works. So no, glad he got something, and hopefully it's going to help him for the future.
Yes. Razor, I think we have time for one more. I don't know if we want to go big picture about, you said, your expectations of the season, taking it one day at a time. But, I kind of wanted to just quickly ask about Kris, but if you have any other questions.
No,
go. Okay, I can do it?
Yes, I know you got one. I can tell. That's how you lead into one that you really want to ask.
All right. Well, no, I wanted just to follow up about what you said about training camp. Like, as a journalist, I'm so excited about all the question marks. And fans, I'm trying to spin zone it for them that this is really exciting, and they're like, what is this team? What's our identity? But can you speak to that instead of seeing it as question marks and a lack of identity, it's opportunity, and you're taking it kind of one day at a time, but this opportunity now that we can make something as opposed to having something and working with it, now you can create the identity you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're going to have a big group this training camp. I think there will be a lot of young kids having a chance to get a job here, opening night. So again, there's positions up to grab, and hopefully those guys going to take it right from day one, and that's where I'm excited about it. There's a little bit of competition here right from day one, and a healthy one. And but yeah, I think for me, tweaking a few things and system-wise, and being a new head coach here and having different ideas, whatever it is, I think the most important thing is that we come together as a team right away. I'm a big believer. I'm a big team guy, and we have to come together close, fast as we can to be ready game one in Washington.
Okay, well, we can't wait for that. It's sneaking up. It was a little cool yesterday. It felt like fall, and it reminded me that fall is right around the corner, which means hockey's right around the corner as well. Marco, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm glad you got to be part of the Jimmy Fund WEEI NESN Telethon. All right, as promised, we are recapping the best of Jimmy Fund, and obviously all the money going to a really good cause. Record-breaking, record-setting Jimmy Fund and Dana-Farber Telethon. So thank you to everyone who donated. Over $5 million, I believe close to 5.7. But what we're doing on the show is just recapping all the interviews we had. So if you're just joining us, we had Charlie Jacobs, Marco Sturm, Jeremy Swayman, Kris Sparre. Kris Sparre is the latest head coach of the Boston Fleet. And as I'm kind of re-listening to all these interviews, I'm noticing a theme, and that being a fresh start. So with the PWHL, that being the expansion draft, their captain being gone. So for the Boston Fleet, new coach, new captain. We'll see who they're going to appoint, but there's a fresh start there. But for the Boston Bruins guys, obviously we're aware of what happened last season after a record-breaking season for them, after just some really good, strong years where they were at least looking like they could make it to the Stanley Cup final. And then we had last season, no playoffs. You just heard from Marco Sturm. And if you haven't had a chance to meet him, run into him wherever he's living or at a grocery store or gas station. I know that Bruins fans love to do that. When you do, I feel like you're going to feel a difference. There's this aura, there's this calmness, there's this really great character about him, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to lead this Boston Bruins team, especially without a captain. And something that comes to mind, and you probably heard it in the interview, is training camp. So that was discussed on our podcast and obviously in this last interview. But with Marco Sturm, he's really putting an emphasis on training camp because last season it just didn't go to plan. And we've been talking about it with Billy Jaffe, with Andrew Raycroft. Like, that's going to be the foundation of your season. And yes, just because you have a good training camp doesn't mean you're going to make it all the way. It is a very competitive league, obviously, in the NHL. But when you don't have a good training camp, and Jeremy Swayman wasn't part of that, and when it's kind of all over the place and jumbled, that's going to set the tone for the season. So I'm really excited to cover this training camp, find out what the roles of some of the guys are. What's the bottom six going to look like? What's the top six going to look like? And we're not going to get all the answers in training camp, but we're going to get a lot of question marks, at least clues to what the identity of this team could look like. Are the young guys going to finally show up, and the ones that have been kind of up and down with the AHL, and make a difference? What are we going to see talent-wise? What are we going to see for competitiveness? What are we going to see from Jeremy Swayman and the goaltending? But either way, something that comes to mind, first of all, I think Marco Sturm is going to lead a really good training camp. But I remember when Patrice Bergeron, who obviously is no longer the captain, and the Bruins don't have a captain right now, I remember in the middle of a really good season for them, they were kind of falling apart. They had a 2-goal lead against the Detroit Red Wings. Then they let in 2 goals back-to-back, and they were kind of just, it was still the first period, but something fell apart. And in a TV timeout, Patrice Bergeron came to the bench and basically gathered everyone around like a captain does. And I don't know what he said, because we didn't hear what he said, but he just calmed everyone down. The Bruins came back to play the game. They ended up winning that game against the Red Wings. It was an awesome game. But when I think of Marco Sturm, although that is the captain's job and we don't have one, I can see him having that calming presence of just kind of resetting players and people. So as we look ahead to training camp, we know the Bruins are going to be going up and down in the season. And if they are going to be having a slump, I just don't feel like it's going to be the snowball effect like we saw last season. There was this like one loss would lead to 10 kind of feeling, or one bad game and they weren't able to rebound. I don't know. We know there were injuries. I don't know what was kind of going on in the room, but I feel like Marco Sturm is going to kind of be at the helm and make a difference for that. That's just my 2 cents. And meeting him just for a short time, but so far, so good. The feeling is good, and the answers we're getting from everyone all around. It feels like a page has been turned for Jeremy Swayman as well, and we're looking forward to a better Bruins season coming up. Okay, we still are going to hear from Shawn Thornton and Tuukka Rask. They also joined us on the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Telethon, so we'll play that interview for you when we come back. Hey everyone, as promised before the break, we are going to hear from Shawn Thornton and Tuukka Rask, who joined us on set for the telethon. Let's have a listen. Guys, thank you for being on. I'll give you a chance to speak, but just want to start off by saying this is what we've been talking about it for the last day. We talk about it every year, how athletes just make time. They go out of their way to be part of the Jimmy Fund. Shawn has his annual golf tournament raising money for Parkinson's. Tuukka and Shawn are always part of it. And you guys, today, they're leaving, going to go do that. It's a big day for you. You still made time to be here, so thank you.
You can thank Tuukka. I was going to zoom in at some point during
he
yesterday and today. He's like, why don't we do it together at 9? I said, I'm in. So,
I offered him a ride.
He's my
That was the key?
glorified Uber driver. That's it. That's why I came here. No.
And you're offering him a ride back to the golf tournament.
Yes. Not from the golf tournament.
No. After that, we'll be taking Ubers for sure.
Yeah.
Well, nice. So you guys both came here in 2007. You signed here after winning the Stanley Cup back in Anaheim. Tuukka broke in 2007. I guess when you guys first came into town, like how much did you realize that the Jimmy Fund resonated here in the community and how much it meant?
It took me probably 6 to 7 months to really figure it out. Obviously, being over there a couple times a year, and then staying here in the summers and getting to do more visits and get to know Lisa and everyone over there. It took a little bit, but obviously this telethon, it's national. It makes a huge impact. I live down in Florida now, and it's on TV down there, and you're like, wow, this is a big deal. So happy to be a part of it. Happy to contribute when we can. Happy to be up here.
Yeah, I think we were kind of both on the same boat because I stuck around for the summers quite a bit, and then you create these relationships with Red Sox and Jimmy Fund and whatnot, and we participated in this telethon for many years. So it was definitely teaching us year after year how good they do, and it's like you said, happy to be part of it.
And obviously, Shawn, with the Florida Panthers and every hockey team is really involved in communities. I love that about hockey players. So it's not exclusive to the Boston Bruins, but we always talk here about the culture and how it's special, and it's not like it's like a mandatory thing. It's just like, hey, when you come here, you're part of the Boston community, and that means being available and just being impactful. And so maybe Tuukka, I'll throw it to you. You felt that when you were with the Bruins, and you still feel that now as a alum?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the first minute you get in, you kind of sense that it's about the community and the charity work you're able to do, and the Bruins from our end, we were involved a lot of hospital visits, fire stations, police, whatever it may be, and it kind of throws you in there, and you have no other choice, and then you
you kind of see what you get back when you see the kids when you visit the hospitals and stuff, and that's the biggest, kick for me at least. You go to these hospitals, see the kids, and see smiles in their faces, and kind of that cheers up your day too. So, and as of now, as a retired hockey player, you still get to be part of it, not as often as the current players, but doing stuff like this, it's awesome.
It's because the kids don't care who we are anymore. We're not players.
Yeah, they're like, who are you guys? Who are you old guys?
Yeah.
Come on, they had to be totally excited
The
when you
parents
guys
cared.
walked into the building. But, Shawn is a guy who also has his own foundation. And I know you've got the golf funding. Just how important is it, even for smaller dollar donations, to be able to help? I know your charity goes towards cancer and Parkinson's, but for the Jimmy Fund, just how much that really helps, even the smallest donation.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to make a pretty good donation here in a couple seconds, but like every bit matters. I mean, this golf tournament, we scrape and claw for every penny, because every penny we bring in the door goes right back out the door to various causes. So it matters. So people have seen the big donations, like, well, I can't do that. You can donate $5, $10. It all adds up very quickly, and it makes a huge impact.
Yeah, we have a board. We're not going to show it now, but like what the donations, what the financial levels make an impact, and even $25 provides like toys for kids when they're in the cancer clinics and when they're going through it. That's what they want to be doing. They want to be playing and distracted and not thinking about it. So like Shawn said, big or small, it all matters. Guys, we have you here, so we do want to talk about hockey a little bit. I would love your take, and Shawn, I'll start with you, just on the Bruins' newest head coach, Marco Sturm, and what he could bring to this team.
My old teammate, yes,
Yeah.
both of ours. I was talking to him yesterday, actually. He had some housing stuff he was asking about in Charlestown since I still own a place there. He's awesome. He's going to bring a ton of leadership. He was young. He's younger than me. He was younger than me when I came to the Bruins. I always said he was much more mature than I was, even though I was older than him. He's got an unbelievable work ethic, and he's been successful everywhere he's been along the way, and I'm excited for him to come back to Boston and make an impact.
He's obviously going to have a huge role in what this new culture is like. When you came here in 2007, Tuukka, you break in 2007, and you guys were a part of it. That was a part of the Stanley Cup winning team in 2011. Just what does it take to build and develop the right type of culture? Because for the Bruins, this is a new era because there's nobody left from 2011.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak for me. I think the biggest thing was hard work and holding each other accountable. I think that's what we did better than anyone else. We had a really tight-knit room, and people held each other accountable. If you weren't doing your job, we were fine with having open, honest conversations about getting back to where you need to be to do your job as an individual and then help the overall group. So Sturmy's not afraid to have those conversations, and I think it'll be great for this group.
Yeah, I think it's not rocket science, right? That's where it boils down to. Have to be accountable. But I think, the game's just changed so much. You have these younger guys coming in, the game's younger, and you maybe have to be a little bit more careful with them so you don't break them. I think Sturmy's great with that, and he's shown it in the minor leagues and in LA that he knows how to handle that, and I have no doubt that he'll do great.
I don't want to talk about this, but we have to talk about it. The Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup.
They did.
Brad Marchand, of course, that's where we're going here. A big part of that. I mean, you were obviously so involved in watching. Like, what was that whole experience like for you?
Well, I mean, I sell sweets and signs. I'm not really as involved as I was as a
you're
player.
you're watching the games.
Yeah.
But you're there.
No, he played, and part of it too, right? He comes to the Panthers, and we have such a deep roster that he is on the third line, slotted in with
crazy.
But then he gets to play against third, fourth lines, second, third pairings. We're in Boston. He's playing against the top dogs, and obviously they rotate. But giving him that opportunity, and then as he got going, the healthier he was, the better he was. So he just kept on going up and up and up, and like he does. He's such a competitor. I wasn't surprised, but I mean, it was amazing to watch him out there looking like he was 23 again. So it was fun.
I know it's not the full Merlot line that was down there with you and Gregory Campbell, but did the Merlot brothers have any impact once the season ended and trying to get him back into the fold?
I had zero. I will be completely honest. I mean, I didn't even know we were getting him. I was on a golf course with a client and they asked about it. I said, there's no way he's coming here. He's staying in Boston. And then 3:05, that came across the wire. I called Marshy. I'm like, I didn't even know. So, no, I'm completely on the business side, not on the hockey ops side, and had zero input on it. But I'm happy he's figured it out. I'm glad he likes Florida. It is a nice place to live, especially during the winter. So I'm sure they're very, very excited to have him around for the next few years.
Tuukka, did you enjoy watching that final?
Yeah, I did. This was the first year in a while that I actually watched a lot of the games. It was good. And, obviously playing with Marshy for a long time, you're cheering for him and very happy that he got the trophy.
Go ahead, Judge.
No, I was just going to say it's just an honor to be in the company of an Emmy winner.
Yes.
yeah.
Where's my
Did you see
Emmy, by
that
the
one
way?
coming, Thorny?
No, I did not know. I don't even know about this. He hasn't told me.
He won an Emmy for unobstructed views.
We did. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You, Razor, Bergie.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it's still in the NESN
producers.
offices. I got to go get it at some point.
Congratulations.
Was that ever on your?
Yeah, Z's hoarding it right now.
I'm sure he probably is. He's
Ever
taking all the
again?
credit for it too, I'm sure.
Where's it going to go in the house?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about it. Somebody definitely paid for us to get that because I don't.
It's got to go down on the bar, no?
Yeah, probably. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we'll.
I did tell my wife and kids, and they're like, "No, you're joking." But it was like it was a regional Emmy, right?
Yeah.
It's not
it
the
is.
same.
It's not like.
Don't
I mean,
tell
it's still
people
He's
that.
not
It
flying to LA.
counts.
But do I get to go to LA now? Maybe I don't know.
No, but we have an Emmy Award ceremony in Massachusetts. I also have a regional Emmy, but I don't tell people it's regional. I have it on my bookshelf.
The trophy
okay?
looks the same, right?
It
Okay,
is. It's
all right.
official and everything.
You're
so
way more professional than we are, so
value that.
you deserve it.
Listen, guys, we are running out of time, but I heard you, Shawn, say that you're going to make a little donation.
Yeah, I would
in
love
a second.
to. My foundation would love to contribute 25 grand again, so happy to.
Wow.
Wow, that's incredible.
No, I love it.
Wow. Thank you.
I'll grant 15 out of my fund.
Yes, there we
I
go.
can't do 25. I'll do 15,000.
Wait, are you serious? You guys both serious right now?
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
That is an
That's
awesome
awesome.
donation. Dude, we need to get a check next time and hold it up to the screen.
Yeah,
to
let's
make
see
a
the board
visual.
move. I want to see the board move.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
you
just
guys
kidding.
actually should be able to go down there and move the numbers on the board. But 15 and 25 grand, generous donations from, as we mentioned, guys that don't play here anymore, but still are such a big part of the Bruins culture, the Boston culture. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the golf tournament. I'll see you at 1
Yes,
o'clock.
thank you.
See you there.
Thanks, boys.
For the record, Shawn and Tuukka did get to go down to the tote board and change the numbers, a total of $40,000 between the two of them. As mentioned already, but it's worth saying again, just because this is the best couple days of the year and it impacts so many people in the Boston community and all over the world, record breaking. So I believe they're still calculating the total amount of donations, as you know, we had phone calls and all that is coming through, but it's at least $5.7 million. And I have some figures for you guys over here. The last record was $4.9 million. That was set back in 2008. So again, surpassing it by almost $1 million. Thank you to everyone who donated. NESN donated a total of $40,000 between the employees and the company match. So proud to be working for this company. I know it was an unusual hockey hub this week, but we'll be back next week with more hockey talk on Monday. Everyone enjoy the weekend and thank you for donating to the Telethon. See you next week.